Yeah, man. Just little things. Just
We're
stuff
like
I
very
noticed.
even tonight, 4 and 4. 4 guys, 4 girls.
All right, good evening, everybody. As we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, if we could all just take a moment of silence for the 3 children and the 3 faculty members that were horrifically killed today in Nashville. And our thoughts and our prayers are with their friends and families and loved ones. So. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. At this time, we'll open up the first hearing and privilege of the floor. If anyone would like to address the board, please just state your name and address for us. All right, we will close the first hearing and privilege of the floor. Remind everybody that we will have a second at the very end. At this time, we will have our final discussion and adoption of the 23-24 budget. Superintendent Schwartz is a little ill today, so Mr. Giaquinto and Ms. Swain are going to be filling in and presenting the budget. So I'll turn it over to the 2 of them. Over here. Where are you rolling this way?
Yeah.
How's it?
So I'm not lonely over here. I'm not lonely over here. Jill and I are going to cause some trouble.
For some clarification, we started at 4.8.
4.85 spending, 4.08.
4.08, and so now we're down to 2.08.
Now we're down. Now we're down to 2.09 tax rate, 4.4 spending, and 2.99.
Okay. Can you give me the tax one more time? 2.99
tax levy.
2.09
tax rate.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. So this is where we were going into last week's budget. As I was saying to Mr. Frederick, we had been at 4.85 spending increase and a 4.08 tax levy increase. At that time was a 3.17 tax rate. And then we made, I think it was $238,000 reductions in spending and added $150,000 in revenue. And that got us to a 2.99 tax levy increase, a 4.45 spending increase, and a 2.09 tax rate increase. So it's a spending increase that we're looking for the board to allow us to move forward with a resolution tonight. That's the spending increase, 4.45%, $2.7 million increase. If the budget is passed, it looks like this. The 3-part budget, which which is administration, program, and capital. And what that means is program is your instructional and your transportation cost. Capital is your debt service and your building and grounds, and administration is your administration. So you can see the synergy over the 3 years. We're in that 11.3 range. 73% is typically program, and the capitals that between that 15.9 and 15.7 range. So capital is your health and safety, basically. We hope we don't get to this point. This is what happens if the budget goes down twice. We move to a contingent budget. Contingent budget means you have to have the same tax levy as the prior year, so it's a zero growth on the tax levy. And you move into what they call a two-part budget at that point, which is your administration and your program, which is that second row down. We'd have to cut $942,000, or is it $942,000 to get to a contingent budget. You must stay in the two-part proportion as the previously presented budget. So we have to make sure we had a 13.4% administration component and a 86% program component. So we'd end up cutting 126 in admin and 815 in program to get to a contingent budget. I hope we don't get to it. It's very complicated, but that's what it looks. So. Categorical breakdown. I wanted to show you the broad categories, how they look in the proposed budget compared to the 5-year average, and you can see there's not a lot of drifting here. They're pretty much the same, which means we've been keeping our spending in the right proportions categorically. And then down below is our source of funding. You can see how state aid has gone up 2% of the budget this year. Therefore, the tax levy is now 2% less than normal, supporting the budget. That's because state aid went up 9% this year. Then the roll forward, as I showed a couple meetings ago, historically we've been about a 2% tax levy, 2% spending. Going forward with the 4.45 spending would then project into 3.19 tax levies over the next few budgets and a 2.51 spending if we revert back to the 5-year average preceding this year. So you can see it's higher than usual because of this year going up, and 3% is 100 basis points more than usual. So the future will have some challenges to it. This slide's for Pam, and this is the impact on $160,000 or $200,000 compared to what they were in the prior year. You can see $80 on a 160K and almost $100 on a 200K house if we go out with a 2.09 tax rate increase. And this is the resolution that's in front of you if we decide to move forward tonight. We just have to put the dollar amount in there. Any questions?
So what Susan just wanted to make sure that we pulled forward for you was the delicate balance that is the budget. Balancing keeping programs in place, because that's your priority, keeping those who are employed with us employed, so making moves in the budget through attrition rather than cuts, and being, as you've talked about several times, fiscal stewards for our community. So she wanted to recognize that as we're asking you to put that number in, that there is a delicate balance and balancing these things. And she hopes that this budget that we're bringing to you has met your needs. And if it doesn't, she'd like us to take notes on what we can do to meet those needs. Sound good? Thank you.
Questions for Drew, for Karen?
All right, so at this point, our basic decision is whether we take out the $238,000 that Susan said last week and go out with a 2.99% tax increase.
Correct.
Or whether we stick with the original budget and go out with a 4.08% increase.
I believe that those are the two choices she would put out in front of you. But if your discussion brings you to another place, that's a conversation we would like her to be part of.
So the amount that we are actually looking at is the 62,959,582.
Nope, 63,198,425.
That's the first
Be the-
draft. That's the original 4.8.
Right, yeah,
Your number was the 4.8. My number that I gave out
Right.
is with the 299.
not 1,000.
Oh, well, it would be nice.
Would be
So-
nice, but,
Million, yeah.
right.
Well, personally, I'm in favor of going out, if you want opinions, Hal.
Yes, absolutely, yep.
With the second number, with the 62,959,582, taking it out and bringing the tax increase down to the 2.99 instead of 4.08. I think that's being responsible. The few things we're taking out are reasonable things that Susan feels that we can live without if we want to bring the budget down to a lower increase. And so that's what I am in favor of.
Dave, did you get the presentation so you could see what that 238 entailed with the science, full-time science teacher and the halftime? Okay, all right. Kim?
I'm gonna be in favor of the 2.9, not that I love it, but, I think if we go out with the 4.8, we're too risky, and I think there's a way too much on the line to play that chance. The 2.9 is $100 per home. I'm not in love with it, but I don't think we can risk losing everything.
I think that we should stay between 2 and 3, because that's what's been tolerable from year over year. We're at the higher end of the band. I would love to see if we could find more areas, but you already, my suggestion for the truck was taken. You found 100, extra cat income. I think you've done a great job to get it where it is. I guess the only thing is asking if there's any other, that you can find any other area that would cut without cutting services or obviously employment, is there, I'm sure you did this work already, but I have to ask, if you see a way to kind of get this somewhere closer to not being at the top of the band that community likes, or has accepted in the past, not that they like the increases.
On my side of it, transportation, building, ground support, we would be cutting support services then. We'd be seeing issues with facilities, issues with the busing, because we kept that side of the ledger went below the 4%. The transportation, building, grounds did not go up that much. That kept them kind of status quo somehow. So no, I don't have it on my side unless we have to cut personnel on that side.
Do you forecast any, it's hard to do with our bonds or anything, with our fiscal assets to kind of ride us through the next year and moreover the next few years? Is there any kind of forecasting that you've seen that can ease the pain, so that way we're not, we're going at 3 this year and then we're already forecasting over 3 in future years? Is anything coming off the books that we don't have to replace, or?
Well, the big bond came out for the $12.8 million. That's there now. It's going to be here for 15 years. As far as coming off the books, no.
Yeah.
We don't.
But we do have a great rating, I think, so that's helping us out.
We have a great bond rating. That's helped us very much, and that's because of our fiscal performance. The Standard & Poor's likes it, so we get good bond rating, good interest rates. We're well reserved, which is good, so we're going to hit a pension escalation, absolutely, with the stock market being down for 2 years. We're going to come out of a 5-year cycle next year, and I think you're going to go up 4 or 5 basis points on the pension, but that's why we reserve the ERS and TRS up to the max. We can start bringing that back in to alleviate that. But we're in for some tough times.
I guess you can see that's why I'm trying to scratch a little bit to see, not the community's not swallowing such a tough pill. But I commend you for the great job you did putting this, getting to where we are right now. I would not have been at that 4%. I think I still would have been against that. So I kind of support, yes, I would support this house.
Thank you. Appreciate your input.
Mr. Buchfair?
I mean, just to be clear, the actual tax rate is 2.09 to the taxpayer.
Right.
The tax levy will be 299.
Correct.
But
Correct.
I kind of feel like others do that. Although the number was under the tax levy and we would only need a regular majority, I think we've had this discussion many times before. When we go over 3, it's a crapshoot. And so I'm comfortable with this as it is. And I don't like the losses that we're going to face, but they're not putting anybody on the street. So I can go with this.
Sorry.
I mean, I agree, right? It's, we're able to, 2.09 is way better than I think we all originally thought we were able to get to. So I commend you guys for digging deep and figuring that stuff out. So I'm good with that.
Right, beautiful. Yeah, I feel I'm in favor of this as well, even though I would love to add things in student services to our mental health. The economy the way it is and inflation's still not easing. It's financially not responsible, in my opinion, to go out over any higher and risk the losses that we would have to lose. Beautiful. All right, so at this point,
I think I'd add, Al, that if we, Rick was touching on this, if we add more things back, we've got to carry those over into the next year, which is already not looking easy. So, that's why I think I couldn't put more back in for sure.
all right, so if we can get a motion to adopt the 23-24 budget of $62,959,582.
I'll make a motion. The Board of Education of the Scotia-Glenville School District be authorized to expend the sum set forth in the total amount of, say it, Hal.
$62,959,582.
Thank you. During the 23-24 school year, and to levy the necessary tax therefore.
Thank you, sir. Second, thank you, Kim. Anyone have any last questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Or abstained? All right, so moved. Thank you. Congratulations, everybody. Have your and care. Good job. All right, moving on to item number 5. We got a motion for the resolution to join the cooperative bidding health risk management goods and services for 22-23, 23-24.
I'll motion to accept the resolution to join the cooperative bidding health, safety, risk management goods and services school years 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Questions? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Item number 6, a resolution to accept and appropriate gift and donation from the Scotia-Glenville Elementary School PTA.
I'll move that we accept and appropriate the gift and donation from Scotia-Glenville Elementary School PTA.
Sir.
Second?
Thank you. Questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Let's see if we can get a motion for items number 7 and 8, the memorandum of agreement between Scotia-Glenville School Districts and the Scotia-Glenville Teacher Associations.
A motion to approve the memorandum of agreement by and between Scotia-Glenville School District and Scotia-Glenville Teachers Association, number 7 and number 8. Do you want me to go through each of those? No?
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Motion for item number 9 to adopt the new Board of Education Policy 5152.2.
I'll make a motion that we adopt new Board of Education policy number 5152.2 and policy number 1900 as submitted.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kim. Questions, comments?
Just a comment, I have gone through these again, and all of the changes that were necessary to make them in line with the rest of our policies, like changing superintendent of schools to superintendent, that type of thing, they're all right. I checked them all, so.
Beautiful. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Item number 11, a motion to request to establish a student club at the senior high school, the Science Club.
I'll make a motion to accept and establish a student club at senior high school named SGHS Science Club.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you, sir. Anyone have any questions? Cool. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Item number 12, to improve the chief inspector for the Scotia-Glenville Central School District Annual District Elections. It's Robert Hanlon.
I'll move that the board approve the appointment of Robert Hanlon as the chief inspector for the election as submitted.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Item number 13, to appoint a chairperson of the Scotia-Glenville Central School District's annual election. I'll do it if no one else wants to. I've done it a few times before. All right.
I'll move the Board of Education appoint Hal as the chairperson of the annual district election as submitted.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions? Light comments?
Congratulations, you're now known as just Hal.
It's all right. Trust me, I'm okay with that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. For communications?
I'll move staffing, communications A through C, staffing 1 through 9, and the one placement that we received.
I'll second.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? Excuse me, so moved. Routine business, any questions on budget transfers for February 2023? All right, moved. And then the bid, to award the bid to J&J Super Seal.
Would you like a motion?
Please, thank you.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid of asphalt maintenance for the high school parking lot as submitted.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. Questions?
Drew, that included striping and everything, right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? So moved. Other business. I would just like to give a big shout out to the middle school for the performance and excellence of the Frozen Junior. I heard rave reviews for everybody, so congratulations to the middle school team.
Standing.
And congratulations to the PTA and all the recipients. For Congress Day last week was awesome. It was a fun experience. And Saginaw by far has the most enthusiasm out of any of the 6 schools. They were just, they brought it last week. So congratulations again. Thank you. That was a great night.
And remember, Music Man is coming this weekend.
Yeah, this week, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Yep.
Pam and I had a chance to get together this week and review the policy 5000s. So I'm making the comments on that. That'll be out in our board drive for you guys to start to review, and hopefully that can be on a upcoming agenda.
Beautiful.
So we're really moving forward with that. It's really, we're working on the 6,000th in the coming week, so coming along nicely. Look
Yeah.
forward to your,
We had a few questions as to whether or not some of the programs and stuff that are mentioned in those policies are still being used. And I'll be making up the list of those and sending them to Susan and Karen to make sure that we're still using those programs.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And there is, this Thursday, I believe, is a fundraiser for Scotia Relief, which helps a lot of our students in the school.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So
5:30 to 7:30.
5:30 to 7:30, thank you. That will follow.
I was gonna say where?
Give me a couple more minutes, I'll finish the whole spiel, but
All right.
We just need to stop
Pregnant
interrupting you.
pauses.
Right, you're on a 10-second delay.
waiting for somebody to feed me the information.
They're dramatic pauses.
You need
I
a
got
teleprompter in front of you now, right? You need a teleprompter in front of you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. That's tomorrow.
Anyone have any other business? All right, in that case, take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
How about hearing and privilege?
I'm sorry?
Oh, hearing and
Oh, yeah,
Hearing
that's right.
privilege.
Take
Sorry.
that back.
All right, no, I skipped it, sorry. Talking about other stuff. Hearing and privilege of the floor, part 2. Thank you. Throwing something at me, sorry.
All right, Christina Darkins Wood, I live at 605 Riverside Ave. I have been attending board meetings for probably longer than everybody but Pam. So I've seen some very difficult budget seasons. And I just wanted to kind of make sure that we did have that historical perspective, that we have cut. And we had a point where we cut 50 people in 1 year. All right, that was incredibly difficult times. But I do remember many residents coming and standing here and saying to that board, keep the program, raise the taxes, and take the taxes to keep the program. And if you look back at all the different budget tools, even when we had to go out at above, because it was 1% was above our budget cap, we got over 65, 75% yeses. The community does support the school and does support what we do here. So please remember that. And that is probably the silent majority. That's not the people that are now angry. All right, so I just wanted to just consider that. Also, I want to put a plug into have a plan for what you want to spend if we happen to get additional money or we actually come in below the spending cap. Because that's, yes, I do appreciate it when my taxes go down or my anticipated increase is not the same. But I would love it if we had a plan to use that money to keep or improve our district. Thank you.
Great point, thank you very much. Anyone else like to address the board? Yes, sir.
Good evening. I just wanted to introduce everyone to Mr. Ryan Fidelli, who, as of your decision tonight, will be our new high school assistant principal. He comes to us from Fultonville School District. We're all very excited to welcome him. Thank you very much. Welcome, Ryan.
Beautiful, I thought you were bringing some muscle with you tonight, Peter, when I saw him walk by. All right, good. There you go. It's always good to have those, and a plan.
We need some people from Perth.
Anyone else wish to address the board? I forgot it, sorry. All right, now I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Kim.
Second.
Thank you, Mr.
I beat
Farrow.
you this week.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstained, so moved. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.